Hello and welcome to episode 50 of the Boxing Social Podcast in association with Betfred. Remember, of course, to like, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff as we celebrate our half century. Barry Jones probably been on here more than anyone. What happens when you do a half century? Little bat up, little smattering of applause. That's where we're at now.
I'm laughing because you say hello, like you're 15. Just introduce you to your girlfriend's dad for the first time.
That's the vibe I'm going
Hello.
for. That's what happens on the half century though. But yeah, 50. I wanted to say, Barry, thanks so much for how many do you reckon you've done out of that? 35 or something?
Yeah, not enough, I don't think.
Not enough.
Yeah.
And to everyone, because there've been some good guests on it. There was another guy hosting before. It's a big thank you to everyone. 50 not out. We're still swinging.
It's not dwell on the past. This is 50. We're here.
We're here, and that's all that matters.
Like there's been no one before.
No, this is where it matters because
unless you can touch it, it's not real. Hi.
Well, as I will say on every single one, we've got a lot to get through, Barry, and I really mean it this time because we've got two big shows on either side of the continent with two Brits.
Lucky, I'm straight to the point.
Who are desperate to make a mark at the world level. Are they going to do it? Let's start in the UK with Richard Riakporhe against Turchi. Never quite worked that one out.
I think you have to say Turkey. I think
you can't say Turkey.
Well, I think
can't say Turkey. It undermines him, doesn't it?
I think, speak to Alex Arthur because that's what in the commentary. That's what he kept calling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everyone calls him Turkey. I don't know if it's Turkey or Turchi. Anyway, the point is, it's a good test for Riakporhe again, but. If you go, he beat him. You should think. Go on, you say it.
I think he's already gone past that level.
Yeah.
I do. I think because he's beat McCarthy already, of course, and yeah, it's
a showcase.
I think so. It's a fight that makes for him to look good.
Yeah.
Doing Riakporhe, he's got that power, hasn't he?
Really has.
But he's learning his trade. There's lots I like about Riakporhe. The problem is, I think the problem that he has or they have with him is that. He's beyond the level he's boxing now, but the level above, which is world level, that's really good. He's European level. Let's be honest. Like he's beat them all at that level. The world level is he ready for that?
It's a similar story with Chris Billum-Smith, who you had a really close fight with as well. That it's a weird division in it where there's all these fights and Tommy McCarthy and that, and he's beaten him. He's sort of done those. Yards, done the work, and then it's like now it's the big step. But the same with Conor Benn at welterweight, but
it's a big step.
Yeah, is it?
It's not just a step.
And he's 14-0, so it's like he's not. That's only 14 fights. It's not a lot of seasoning, is it?
In this day and age, he's what's he been doing?
Yeah,
been dragging his feet for 5 fights.
But you look at his record; he's beaten them all, hasn't he? Jack Massey, and Sam Hyde.
So he's gone for that. He's gone for that proper domestic route, haven't he? Like, the Hydes, the Masseys, and McCarthy's, Billum-Smith, which also entangles the European level with that because they were European level fighters as well. So yeah, he's done all that. He's ticked the right boxes, moving up in the correct manner as you would have it. But does he beat the Coley?
Yeah.
No, you don't give him a chance, do you? I don't feel. That's the problem you have with him.
But then you could argue Coley's the number one in the world, so then it's kind of...
Does he beat Bradis?
Does he beat Bradis, yeah.
No, again, you'd have to say no. This doesn't matter, by the way. Just
no.
If you've earned the right to get there. But I think with Turchi, whatever we're going to call him, it's a good fight for the level, but he's already been at that level.
That's the crux of it, isn't it? When you think if we're talking about he's just on the cusp, and what does beating Turkey do for him?
No, it doesn't do anything for him.
It doesn't do
anything. It's not like he beats yeah. You don't learn nothing new from Riakporhe, unless he blasts him out there in like a minute, which he could easily do. By the way, I wouldn't be shocked at that. I think that's what they're hoping for is a massive explosive performance because you want a guy who can punch, and a nice kid, by the way, who talks well, looks good, and
seems very bright as well. He knows what he's doing.
He broke his right hand. He broke a couple of years ago, and and long I think it was it left? I'm not sure which.
Yeah, he had quite a bad injury for that stage of the career. Yeah,
but along all that's good, and he can fully commit with the shots, and he's been learning his trade. Then if he gets an explosive performance and an early finish, then that makes a bit of a statement. But the win does nothing. Just the win alone does nothing for for me or you.
I'm sure he would know that. I'm sure he must be thinking that, and they must be thinking it because they're giving him a big push, Sky and Boxer. You know,
Well, I think rightly so. 'Cause, it's a division that in a minute it's due, if not already, starting to be in that transitional period now. In a minute, because the Cody's looking like
he'll go up. Yeah,
Braiders, how long can he keep going for?
Very true.
Now, that's the truth, isn't it? Let's be honest. And you tend to think that there might be a gap here. Can we just hold him?
Position him.
Yeah, just ready, just about like.
He is 32 though. So he's no spring chicken.
He's not a spring chicken, but for his age, for the weight he's at, and for the miles on the clock, and this modern generation where boxers don't really peak until they're 60. No, they peak later.
Yeah, he's got some years on him. Yeah.
No, it used to be back. When I was boxing him before, if you hadn't boxed for a world title by the time you were 26, 27, 28 maximum, then you probably were never going to get that opportunity. Unless you were a freak of nature, a one-off who would get their first shot past that. But now, that around that 30 mark and the other side of it seems to be where most people are getting their, if not their first tilt, when they're getting to near to their maximum, their peak. So but he can't wait them on for 2 more years. That's pretty much soon. But I think if he gets an explosive performance here, especially on the platform, then they'll push for him, I think, quite aggressively, because they need world champions. No, they've done a great job, Boxer and Sky. It seems to be Boxer the promoters. It seems to be like a co-promotion with the TV company, slightly, which is a modern way.
Yeah,
Matchroom and DAZN, and Frank Warren and BT. There's not just a platform and a promoter anymore. It seems to be all encompassing. So, but they need some big names. I think some world champions, some more stand-up fighters to be pushing their product out there. I think
they must be looking at the situation at cruiserweight and what Coley's probably going to do and what Brady's going to do, and think he could be the guy.
Yeah, getting right. Well, I think, and they might be just getting right on the cusp there of waiting ready. But again, if Coley decides to hold back and wait another couple of years, which I can't see, then do you want to be going fighting yourself into a Coley? Do you want to be banking on your power over his power? Because what's Riakporhe, 6'4"?
He's a fearsome guy. He must be 6'4", 6'5" maybe.
Yeah, but a Coley is 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's big. He's 6'6". Yeah.
But he walks around like he's 7'2".
Yeah.
The span.
He's long. Yeah,
is crazy, isn't it? And that's he might get there first with a big shot. That's the difference there, and also vast more experience as well.
I thought he boxed very well against Dion Juma and a good win against an awkward opponent, and it was a good. Yeah, it was a good one for him.
Dion's underrated, actually.
Massively, yeah.
Massively underrated. I've known Dion since the amateurs, to be fair. And I haven't quite had the luck of the green with injuries and the way his career's panned out. But yeah, good fighter. And so it was a good win. And a good test as well, because it wasn't just, it was a win that you always thought Riakporhe should win, but you also knew that he couldn't take it for granted because Juma's good enough to beat you if you underperform. So yeah.
Who would you think about chucking him in with Riakporhe kind of next if he wins and it all goes well at the weekend? What?
Gravatsky.
Is he ready? Yeah, something like that.
I would say
yeah.
only because stylistically you've got a guy there who's good still, but you're going to tower over.
Yeah.
You can hit him. He takes a good shot. Unless you're a Coley.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
it'd be a good sort of measuring stick, wouldn't it, for where he's at?
I think some point, and also it's a testing fight where you measure him, but also you go in like, all this like, don't give him any tests until the test, which is the world title fight. Well, that's great. Because they get the world title fight, but you're not getting the right preparation. So it's how you promote the fight, or do you promote him career-wise? Boxing, just pure boxing wise, or do you focus more on the financial implications of who he boxes and how he wins and loses and who he boxes against for not just the boxer but for the company and the TV company and the promotion. That's why we get with fighters, say for Ben, for instance. They're not giving some boxers not getting the proper tests for their career development. They're getting the tests that they're getting little tests, but safe tests that don't interfere with the money.
Yeah.
I can't think of the proper word for that, but do you know what I mean? So they're not, they're not putting him in with there's some fighters not putting him in any punches because they might be able to take a punch, but we don't want to find out.
Yeah, on TV, yeah.
Because it's good figures, we're getting a good traction with this certain boxer, and why do you want to take that risk now? But then you take that risk at the highest level, and it's too late. But maybe not for the TV company or the promoter, because they've got to where they want to get, and they're getting the investment back. I don't know. I'm talking on my back end. I haven't got a clue.
But I mean,
development wise, you need that test. So Gravatsky or whatever you pronounce his name, which is probably
Glowacki,
yeah,
Turkey.
But I think, that's
that sort of
that's a former world champion who's not really on the shelf, but it's still a fighter who maybe where he's at now. Looking who Riakporhe's beating European level.
Yeah,
the next step is world level.
One. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What I would like to see, and it probably wouldn't happen now because of the promotional split. I still want to see the CBS rematch. That was a split, close fight, And he's on the same situation where it's like, what does he do now?
Yeah, because he's at that level.
And he's in the same camp with Viddal.
He was really good against McCarthy.
Yeah.
Because he was so much more aggressive than I thought he'd be.
Yeah, he seems to be developing that a lot.
But right though, because McCarthy, who looks like he's lazy, but actually is really slick and clever. And I think if you let him in his rhythm, which maybe he did in the first fight, it's a hard scrap.
Turkey let him in his rhythm.
Yeah,
got beat.
And then McCarthy's hard. You got to really hurt him to get him out of that rhythm.
Yeah,
and but Billum was put it right on him. Toughed him out actually.
He did.
He didn't he? But a guy who looks like pretty and all the rest of it. Yeah,
he's very tough, very strong.
Yeah.
Okay, well, also let's look at the undercard. Another cruiserweight, which I wanted to ask you about, Viddal Riley.
Yeah.
Best known, you could probably say, as being KSI's trainer.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the score with Viddal Riley? Has he got a chance?
Oh no! So I think we haven't seen anything of him.
No.
I mean, by the way, he looked good.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him ever before.
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about him. I know he's good as an amateur, but I didn't really know anything about him. And just one of those YouTube guys.
Yeah.
It was straight away you think he's just a YouTube guy, but actually he was a boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit like Ryan Garcia. No, Ryan's not a YouTuber.
Yeah, but it's the perfect storm, isn't it?
Yeah. It was fantastic. But actually, but there's substance behind him. He's not just turned into he hadn't just come into boxing. He was a boxer who just got another job.
Yeah.
Like I was an electrician.
A well-paid
one.
Sure.
Yeah. Just a well-paid job. Yeah. And so he looked really good. Actually, a lovely uppercut, like beautiful shot to finish it or whatever it was. I think it was the uppercut. It's a lovely little shot, and like well timed, and he looked really good. But it's too early to see where he goes. Yeah, you need some more tangible tests. And, yeah, but no, I think this is me. This is my snobbery, I guess. I don't want to be there, but I think they'll promote him safer. And I'll go, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But she shouldn't, though, because I'm not saying with Riakporhe he needs to test for his career development, but Viddal Riley's a real boxer, so he needs to test for his real development rather than for. But I'm just thinking he's marketable because he takes two worlds and puts them into one and all this rubbish. So they'll just give him the right fights and keep him going up there and moving without any boxing anybody, and then he'll end up being a presenter on Sky anyway. Yeah,
he did some already, didn't he?
And that's how it'll be.
Yeah,
and he probably won't even fight for anything and just make loads of money and that. But the kid might genuinely have ambition to want to be a world champion, not just say it. You know what I mean? Genuinely. So, and he has been a boxer as an amateur, a good boxer. He was in the GB squad, was he? I think.
Yeah, right? Well, he's certainly on the fringes.
Yeah, so then he must love the sport, and so let's give him a chance. So I think like you would an Olympic medalist who has a platform going into his pro career, or already has some sort of an image. Promote him that way, but give him the right fights. But it's too early. Was he had 5?
Yeah, he's 5-0. Yeah, 24 years old.
Oh, you got loads of time, especially this weight. You got loads of time, yeah. But loads of time. But by the time he's 26 and he's a box someone, that's why I say that as well.
Well, one person who would definitely be probably looking at world titles within 2 years is Lauren Price, who makes a debut on that obviously unbelievable amateur.
Maybe not. Might not take that long.
No,
to be honest.
won the lot, and it seems like one of them who just ready to go.
She's physically strong.
Yeah, so made for the pros.
Massively physically strong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. And people always go about, oh, you know, this girl, woman boxer, but let's just say girl for the sake of it. This girl boxer, she spars with men, and I've seen a lot of that, and it's not. Most of the time the men are taking it easy. I don't think with Lauren Price, so
you can't.
There are some who go above and beyond. Yeah, she looks really physically strong and good, so I think she'll be moved quick. And because there's still not strength and depth in the women's sport right now. And what's she going to be, a middle?
I think middleweight, yeah.
Well, she wins. If she boxes if she's anywhere as good as I've seen as an amateur, as a pro. I've seen on the beautiful fight of Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano in New York. There was a fight on just before the Liam Smith fight with two super middleweights, unifying the world title.
Yeah,
it was like they just threw bombs. It's a girl from Sweden, an American girl, and but the quality was disgustingly poor. Like, it's horrible. Sorry, it wasn't great.
Well, certainly
that's wrong. I shouldn't say that. I apologise. I'm saying disgustingly poor. That's disgusting in itself. I shouldn't say that. I mean, it was an exciting fight to watch, but technically really bad. Saying the same things, and I just in a different way.
No, I think
I was to dig a hole. You're afraid to say it because it's women's boxing. I'm afraid to upset anybody. But if that was two men at the world level and they were boxing and it was like that, you just go, this is not very good. I mean, it's not very good. If you knew nothing about boxing, you'd enjoy it just because it was like
and then
swinging.
Also the standards in women's boxing, because then you look at what happened in the main event and the quality on show there.
What can be produced, yeah.
I totally understand.
But what I'm saying, Lauren
Price is there.
If she's around that sort of weight, because in women's boxing, the only thing in women's boxing, no one complains when they go from like flyweight to welterweight.
Yeah,
they go, well, fair
like
enough.
Serrano. Yeah,
like if a male boxer did that, they go, what?
Yeah.
No, it's like. No, I mean in one fight.
Yeah.
Like Tasha Jonas did it pretty much.
Completely.
Pretty much super feathers, lightweight, but super feather to light middleweight, super welterweight.
You got you bet a lot of money that Lauren Price is going to win world titles and.
Well, I was saying, if she shows anything of the quality she showed as an amateur in her first fight, you would fancy her to unify the super middleweight division in a second fight. Seriously, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. Maybe I'm doing those women a disservice. No, they were tough.
Lauren Price is good though.
She's good, and and that's what I think. You said 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll take that long. To be honest, I don't. Unless they want to, I think she'll do what she wants because there's more opportunities. Because there's not, she'll bypass a lot of levels because there are not enough fighters to test her. I mean, she'll be world champion within 4 fights if she wants to be. I feel
she seems like, and obviously Sky have had the big push and signing those Olympians. She seems like superstar.
She's a good signing now.
Yeah,
it's like people are signed sometimes for certain reasons, and whatever they are, they people sign people for certain things. So do you want to be a great fighter, but you got like 1 million people follow you on Twitter, whatever it is, and whatever works for you, and then you want that engine. But she's like whatever it is for her, whether it be a female pushing female sports, whatever it may be. She's good, and you sign her kind of talent alone.
Yeah, I can imagine they had to pay.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's because she's Welsh.
But
she should pay for the Olympic gold medalist.
I can only imagine the battle to get her in this day and age of women's boxing, where that could be a real.
I've been saying though, since we're all like Serrano and Taylor was such a good fight. The pressure now on Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields to produce a good fight of quality is immense. Because now, I've said this already on the podcast.
Go on.
Is probably, and
it's not about pivots, is it?
Just refer to I haven't said pivots for ages.
No,
I'm beyond that now. I've gone another level. But is that they have to produce these women at the highest level now have to produce that. No, you're always going to get a fight of that. Man. That was a great fight, regardless of anything, any weight, sex, whatever it is. That was just a great fight on boxing standalone. But they've shown now that women, all the naysayers that women's boxing is not good enough and could be under strength in depth. But there are quality operators out there, and they can produce good fights. So you got the self-proclaimed greatest woman of all time in Clarissa Shields, and a great fighter like Savannah Marshall, who's really good, can punch, they have to produce a good fight. There's pressure on them now, and they have the weight of women's boxing on their shoulders. I feel,
And
more than Serrano and Taylor now.
Yeah.
They did their job.
And there's pressure on people like Lauren Price and Caroline Dubois, who turn over with a big name and a big expectation.
Caroline Dubois.
Yeah,
You can hold your. She's young and she's still relatively inexperienced. She's only had 1 year as a senior.
Yeah.
There's time with her. So I put her on, keep putting her on shows.
Get her boxing.
Just travel around the country, put on loads of shows, get her face around there. But just give her learning fights. If they can do that again, boxing.
It's hard, isn't it? Yeah.
Boxers you've got, but if they just do that for now, don't push her too fast. But Lauren Price, who's old enough, good enough, physically strong enough. That's the biggest thing. When you turn pro, sometimes you don't have that physical strength and presence. But she used that as an amateur, so I think she'll have that. So you can rush her quick.
I didn't even mean that segue, but we've said Dubois once. Now we're into the other side of the pond. It didn't quite go as smoothly as I'd like, but yeah, Caroline's brother Daniel is in action. So Miami, Daniel Dubois boxes Trevor Bryan.
If anyone's doing anything over Miami, I'd love to work. Not because it's Miami, but Miami.
Yeah, because it doesn't get more sort of glitzy than Miami donking promotion. Trevor Bryan, it's an interesting one, because Trevor Bryan's sort of been hanging around for ages and he's not.
Sorry, did you show him? I forgot what the poster said. No, Don King's poster.
That poster.
It's like an 80s thing, isn't it? It's like the weight of the West is on his.
The poster was so good, and the video, they did the video.
Freedom or something like that, was it?
Yeah, Peace and Freedom.
Fighting for peace and freedom. I thought, why?
And the WBA regular title.
Oh, yeah, that's a farcical, isn't it? It's really. I don't want to dwell on that, because then it's not fair on the boxers.
No, I don't think they get. Yeah.
It's not their fault. Because Dubois should win. That's the truth. Bryan's okay, but I think Dubois should win. No, I don't think he's as fragile as I thought he could have been after the Joyce fight.
Yeah.
No, mentally, not physically. Mentally, I thought he might have been a bit fragile, but he hasn't. But he's been fine. But I think because he has a solid jab, I think that works so well against Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bryan's not the biggest. He's a big lump, but he's not giant.
No.
We talked about this off air, when the size of him.
He's a big guy, but he's not, in this day and age in heavyweights, he's not a massive heavyweight.
And the way he boxes, the smooth, the looseness, I think you've got to be huge now to get away with that. A solid jab to the chest is just going to knock you off balance all the time.
And that's definitely something that Dubois does.
Yeah, that's good as well. And I feel with that, with Shane McGuigan, that's a good fit. For punching right down the line.
Just hard and straight.
Yeah, I don't think the thing I like about Shane McGuigan, he's a friend of Boxing Social. No, the thing I like about Shane McGuigan is he don't overcomplicate stuff. And
did the same with George Groves, didn't he? Yeah.
Boxing is not simple, but you can. Everyone tries to get too clever. I think sometimes you can get a lot, and which is great if it works. For certain fighters, can do that, but most fighters just need to do the basics perfect. And I think heavyweights just need to concentrate on doing the basics really well, because you're not Tyson Fury. He's one of those weird maverick guys. So don't try and be like him, because you might be able to beat him just doing the basics. By the way. but so I think with Dubois, it's nice. There's a solid jab, but you can vary that jab, go high and low with it. You can just learn to bend your legs. So you just do little things, bend your legs a bit more, but turning for not trying to get too clever. Faster left hook he needs, but doing the basics. The 1-2 left hook is all he needs. Dubois, don't need anything else. I don't think he needs anything else. And I think for certainly someone like Bryan, he busts him up with the jab.
Yeah, you would definitely think so. And if you pick Dubois, if you made Dubois Bryan before the Joyce fight, this would be no questions asked. You'd be backing Dubois.
And again, the same. I don't think he's shown abilities. And again, the Joyce fight, the fact that he decided to quit.
Yeah.
No one else can say they would quit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a quitter.
But before the end,
he's not a quitter, but he quit. But he decided to quit because he had a problem with his eye, and there was too much for him to carry on. That's how he deemed it himself, and I think he probably regrets that now, looking back. But all these people then going, he had to detach this or whatever. No one knew that at the time. They were all doctors, literally within 10 seconds after the fight.
Yeah.
He got an orbitable.
Yeah.
You just gone like that with your thumb. But he hasn't shown. I thought mentally he might panic now every time he put under pressure. He's been fine. He's fine. He just like it was a genuine pain. He didn't know what to do. He took the knee and stayed there. But he's been fine ever since. And he's a young man. And
what do you think? Because a lot have made it of the regular title being the regular title or whatever. But what it is a positioning tool, isn't it?
yeah,
Gets him in line.
It's an international title, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just don't make it up.
But what it does mean is it
It's not worse
nudges
than
him.
someone boxing for the global title.
No.
Someone's boxing for that. Isn't he?
No. And if you win that, then you're in position for something. Obviously, we know that the top of the division is kind of messy and all sorts of things happening there. But the time will come, you would think, that he's going to fight someone. But do you think it's a similar situation like the Riakporhe thing where they're thinking, Joshua ain't got long left, really. Tyson Fury ain't got long left. Like, he'll be positioned in 5 years that he'll be the best of the lot.
Yeah, possibly. I think they go. Because even like Joe Joyce, he hasn't got there yet, Joe Joyce. But again, his age is not on his side, but he's still got long enough. And so you think, we can just hold him back. And he gets a title. You can get a WBA regular title and get 15 defences and not box anybody.
Yeah.
By the way. And pretend to be a world champion. It's not his fault again. No, again, so you criticise the situation, and you can't do it without criticising the boxer, unfortunately. But no one deems this a genuine world title shot. But like you said, it puts you in a good place. Like that's what the international titles were for, the intercontinentals and all. They put you in a decent place to get ready to challenge higher opposition. But they've gone overboard. They've just made a mistake with it, and they've got carried away, and everything's a title fight now. But it's a good fight. Even if it was nothing attached to it, it's a decent fight for him. Bryan's not great, but he's not bad. He's an undefeated guy, and he bashes him up, which I think he will.
You reckon?
I think so, yeah.
And it's in America. It's
another fight for him in America,
Yeah.
a better fight for him this time. I don't know what. No, it's not a better platform, unfortunately. It's not Showtime, is it? But it's a better opponent.
I think it makes an impact, doesn't it? Because people know Trevor Bryan, the belt, Don King attached to it. If he goes over there, Miami really does a job on him. It does a lot for him, profile-wise.
Yeah, profile and his confidence-wise as well, by the way. Because you go over there and go, oh, this guy ain't bad. He's a good guy. He's a world-level contender, world championish, and then he bashes him up. I think he does. I think the jab of him will do the job. I think the jab will just keep hitting Bryan off balance, and Bryan can be hit. Takes a good shot, to be fair, mind. But he hasn't been in with no one like, I don't think he's been in with a Dubois type of power.
And he hasn't been active, has he? Been famously sort of inactive. And
Well, he keeps having fight cancelled all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's boxing Manuel Chow when he's 6 years ago.
Yeah. You think he's still set to fight him?
It's announced straight after this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's not going to help him, is it? In a fight like this?
No. And I just think the way he boxes, the looseness in him, you tend to think that's good because you've got no lateral movement, but you haven't got the size to play with it. Like if Fury got the size to lean out the way for you, but I don't think he has. I don't think his reactions are great. So he has that loose movement with his hands, but his feet ain't fast enough. And I think Dubois will be right on the centre of the track with the jab. So I think it'll be a good win for him. And it will be a good win for him. And he'll come back here then, buzzing. And then whatever they do with him, I don't know. Don't know what they do with him, actually. So it is like they're all just waiting for
a gap.
They're waiting for Fury to definitely disappear.
Yeah.
And Usyk to disappear. They're not waiting for Joshua to disappear.
No.
Joshua still beats him, though. That's the thing. I think that people are like, I don't think like people massively criticise Joshua. They just say well, or they see it. But I think he's a little bit underrated now. All of a sudden,
I know
he was overrated. Now he's underrated. Ironically,
but people look at him and go, "Look at the money we'll make for that." And if you land something, you know that he could go.
Well, not so much go. He panics under pressure. Joshua, we spoke of this before. He does. He panics under pressure, and when he gets hurt, now you can see it. Whether he does panic, but he looks like he panics. His face tells it. I don't know what he feels inside, but his face tells you. Oh, you can see it in him every time he gets hit. No, with a half a shot, by the way, you can see it. Whereas before, he would get buzzed, and you wouldn't, and you just see. All you see is the steam coming up his ears, even when he was hurt.
Yeah,
there's a difference. There's a difference to his mentality now, and that's why boxers that's why they fancy him more. That's why he's being underrated. That's why people think that he's shot. He's not. Yeah, that's why he may be a bit of a sleeper. Joshua he doesn't beat Usyk, of course. I don't think.
No
chance. But he's still good enough to win another world title. He's just not good enough to beat Usyk and not good enough to beat Joshua. and maybe now probably not going to beat Wilder either.
Who would you pick? Just circling back to earlier, the first half. Who would you pick? Daniel Dubois against Lawrence Okolie. It's a fun one, isn't it?
Yeah,
You'd have to pick Dubois, you would think,
because of what you know.
but when you think about it,
I
they sparred a
was
lot.
going to say
They
when
sparred a
the
lot.
sparring goes on.
Yeah,
Because you tend to think that the length and the speed of Okolie would be a nightmare for
he's so awkward, isn't
a
he?
flat-footed. What's his name? That's the one.
Dubois.
Dubois. Yeah.
Only been talking about him for the last 15
I was thinking
minutes.
about what I'm having for dinner. I lost the total traction. But yeah, it's whatever Dubois sandwich. Yeah, but also he does a little bit, sometimes a bit gangly on his feet. Sometimes Okolie, the reaching in, but he doesn't do so much with McGuigan because McGuigan just keeps it simple and he turns from the waist, keeps the shoulders high rather than lean forward. So when he throws out long right hand Okolie, he doesn't reach into it now. He just turns from the waist.
Yeah.
It's almost like if I had Okolie, I go, watch Klitschko, box like him. That's it. Sort of a little bit more to it. But don't try and be too clever. Just don't bend your shoulders down. Keep your shoulders square. No, I don't want to be square and rigid. Like Dubois, you want to get him loosened. But with Okolie, I want to make him more rigid because you've got those arms are longer than anyone's.
They're going to land
than humanly possible for any other human on the planet, right? So just use that. So you just replace that shoulder with this shoulder and like that. So like you're hitting and getting maximum power at the end of the shot without closing the gap.
Back.
Yeah, well, it is coming back, but it's falling this back shot every time. You don't know why you don't need to give the guy opportunity. You might get more power if you a little bit more lean and turn your body into it and have a little bit more lean forward. But you got enough power, so just smoothness. Like you don't like you see some natural punches. They don't try hard to punch because they can punch. They don't have to try hard. They don't have to just use the body mechanics. That's what but again, to go back to Shane McGuigan, I think Okolie suits him because he get you do that. He's not leaning over that front foot anymore. He's not bringing that back foot forward. He did it a little bit in the last fight, but the fight previous, and when he beat Gravatsky, right? When he beat him, he didn't do it. He didn't. He just a jab, and then when he threw the right hand, he just turned from the shoulders and the hips and didn't bring that right foot forward, and all the power was on the end of the shot, and he was safe distance every time. So if he does that and keeps moving, he could probably beat Dubois, but you'd have to favour Dubois just for physical presence now. But I think once Okolie decides to move out to heavyweight, he bulks up, not massively, but a stone quickly.
It's a bit thicker.
Yeah, he has to, because you got to have that size intimidation, a little bit of a factor. And I think a little bit, and also when they grab hold of you, you don't want enough not to be thrown around everywhere. That's all. He doesn't want to lose the movement of the shots. Like you bulk up too much and you lose the fluency in your punches, but he still needs to bulk up.
One guy who doesn't, just a guy on the undercard I wanted to mention, Dakari Scott, known as Mac Truck. He's a heavyweight, boxing Jonathan Guidry, but he's someone I've been following for a long time in the amateurs.
Is that the guy who just beat?
Yeah. So exactly that. So he is boxing this guy, Dakari Scott, and I'm really excited to see him. Been going, I think he's in Atlanta, Georgia, but like a real skillful, you wouldn't think it to look at him. So have a little look at him, and I'm interested to see what Guidry, because obviously we saw Guidry against Bryan, so at a level or so. 7-0 this guy, Dakari Scott, so that'd be a good one. But it's good to see, I don't know, Don King. You know, whenever Don King's involved in these things, you know he's going to bring the flags and he's going to bring a little bit of something je ne sais quoi to the promotion, isn't he?
He's a crack job, isn't he? To be fair, mind, he's
still going, still swinging.
I don't think he's not. You don't never hear from him. All of a sudden, he pops up
with this big bid, and he's paying a lot of money for this fight.
But and all he needs is one.
Yeah,
all he needs is one, don't he? He gets one. And again, there is a period coming soon where the heavy division will be a little bit, opened up. I think
he's seen it before, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the problem you got there though, it probably be Jared Henderson in America. That's the guy you're gonna bet on. Really, I would have thought. Got Frank Sanchez maybe, but I think Jared Henderson for me looks like the one who has a little bit of something about him.
Possibly not Trevor Bryan.
No, I don't think so. But you never know.
You
but
never know.
I had, it's what you've seen, and I've seen loads of him. But what I've seen of him, nothing screams excitement. I see Jared Henderson. I go, you know, you're not finished the finished article yet, but there's something about you. You might have the little X factor. I think you could maybe go on and do something. Athleticism, power, movement, got a little bit of everything, and a little touch of vulnerability about you as well, maybe, which makes him more exciting. And yeah, you think like him and Dubois on the line would be a really good scrap.
Yeah, really would.
Yeah. But which Anderson would be a favourite, I would think, massively. But it'd still be a good scrap. But Bryan, I haven't seen it, so I think Dubois, if he can establish that jab early, which I think he will, I think he walks through him. It might take him to the midway stages, but I think he busts him up with the jab.
I wanted to ask you as well, Puerto Rico Day, Edgar Berlanga, Banger Berlanga.
Boring.
Now this guy, obviously, he had that famous run of first round knockout. So
16.
Yeah, everyone. It was ridiculous, really. Obviously, you know that's going to slow down. The distance with Steve
had a
Rhodes,
similar sort of thing there.
the same
Valero,
thing.
Yeah.
And now he's boxing Alexis Angulo, not Arguello.
Yeah.
Roma Alexis Angulo. So another big test, and another like
The puncher, him with the puncher.
And so it's.
But
What do you reckon? What do you reckon of Berlanga?
I like him. I do. I like him. I know. Like he had a hard fight against Rolls. Steve
Rolls. Yeah,
And
which is a good opponent again.
A good opponent.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mind it when a puncher has to go the distance, because he learns from that. Like we all want to see everyone get knocked. Like we want to see him knock everyone out and be like this phenomenon that no one's ever seen before. But inevitably that's going to happen to you. And he was still always looking for the punch. And what I like about Berlanga, he doesn't load up. Every now and again he does a little bit. And with the Rolls fight, he did it now and again with frustration. But because Rolls, he didn't run like Berlanga said. He just ran from me. He tried to outbox you. But you're not going to get a guy who just stands in front of you all the time trying to knock you out. Except for Saturday.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's going to get. He's going to get a guy who's just going to come right at you in Angulo and try and knock you out.
Someone's getting cleaned out.
It's a great fight to watch.
Yeah.
But it doesn't last 3 rounds and 2 rounds. It doesn't last a round. But I can't see how unless he catches Berlanga first with a great shot, Angulo finishes the fight after a couple of rounds. I can't see how he goes. If he boxes the way we've seen him in the past,
too open,
the way he did against Benavidez and Ramirez, coming at you, trying to hurt you, and he's hittable. If you're hittable, and you're coming at and you're walking onto the shots against Berlanga, you don't have to be a boxing expert or an ex-boxer or whatever you want to call people to see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Because Belanga's genuine power. No, it doesn't mean that you're going to knock everyone out you hit, because some people have great chins. And Angulo might be one of the ones who has one of those chins you just can't penetrate. But I don't know.
Because that's the other problem with when you have these long streaks where he's boxing for a minute and then 3 months later he's boxing for 40 seconds or whatever. He's not learning anything. And actually, we're not learning anything about him.
No.
So we've started to discover what he's actually about and what he's like when his person doesn't go over.
And he's constantly hunting for the win.
Always, yeah.
Even against Rolls, he dominated the centre of the ring. And that's why he won the fight, really, because it was relatively close. But he won it. But he was only the only winner, really, because he dominates the centre of the ring. He's pushing you back. He's always looking to go to work without rushing it. It was impressive in his early when he was knocking everyone out, because he never rushed his work, but still got you out there early.
Yeah.
Like a bit like Anthony Yard used to do. I used to say it all the time about Anthony Yard. I used to say that with my eyes closed when I was commenting on his fights. The good thing about Anthony Yard is I wouldn't be watching because I knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He don't rush his work, but he gets you out there early. And I think Berlanga has that about him, confidence in his power. And he knows he ain't going to hit you on a button. He hits you there quite often. He's clever because he makes you duck down and hits you on the back of the head and gets away with it. But he scrambles your senses. And you see quite a lot of his knockouts, knockdowns have been like that. He scrambles their senses because he hits them beyond the ear. Because he chops down with them. Chops down with the shots. He's good. I like him, he's good. And Puerto Rico weekend, New York.
Do you think he's a superstar in the making?
Yeah, because he's at that right weight.
Yeah.
With good fighters around him. No,
good age.
Yeah,
young.
good age, and
Yeah.
and I think if he can pick up a world title somewhere, if they will fragment, if any chance, then someone like him in Benavidez, if Benavidez doesn't move up, you've got a guy who throws a million punches, a guy who doesn't have to throw a million punches, because one's enough.
Mexico, Puerto Rico.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
Those Mexican Puerto Rican fights, they're not very good.
Don't bother with them.
They're rubbish, man.
Yeah, because you never know with the punches, like the real dangerous punches like that, and the ones who build of it. You think, are you a one-trick pony? Are you going to get drunk on it? He doesn't seem to be that necessarily.
Doesn't seem to be, but you can understand it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because
It's natural, isn't it?
Yeah. And I also say, if you got power,
yeah, you want to use
show it. Show it. And don't hide that in your back pocket if it's a secret weapon.
Yeah.
I never could punch, unfortunately, but if I could, all I'd be doing is swinging right hands. Why wouldn't you? And he knows. He doesn't have, like I said already, he doesn't have to hit you clean. He's knocking people over. He's half hitting them. He has genuine power. But when you move at the levels, though, they do tend to absorb punches better. They know the right punches. They see their vision's better, so they get to see it and just take a sting out of it. And for some strange reason, they just take a better shot because they're all wrong better. That's what makes them good.
Yeah, that's why they're there.
So Benavidez can really. What if he can stand up to it?
We'll see.
Yeah, but I think
he's a superstar.
Yeah, I think
we'll be talking about him for years. You reckon?
There's a few good kids.
Yeah.
Based in America, who might take the world by storm.
Well, promises to be a very interesting weekend. Barry Jones, thanks again for your time. And more importantly, again, no offence, mate, but more importantly, thanks for you for watching. Take care. We'll see you at the next one.